And now let's go live across to Rashtrapati Bhavan, where Singaporean President is being accorded ceremonial reception. बोलना है क्या? पूछो, कुछ बोलना है मुझे? Singaporean President Tharman Shanmugaratnam arrived in New Delhi on Tuesday evening.
राष्ट्रपति भवन से सीधी तस्वीरें सिंगापुर के राष्ट्रपति थर्मन शनमुगरत्नम, जो कि राष्ट्रपति
It is his first official trip as president, and the visit coincides with the celebration of 60 years of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Upon his arrival yesterday, Tharman was received at the airport by the Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, and his 5-day visit scheduled from January 14th to January 18th includes meetings with President Droupadi Murmu, who will also host a banquet in his honour. Tharman will also hold discussions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi following a ceremonial welcome which is happening right now. Also, Tharman is accompanied by a high-level delegation comprising ministers, members of parliament and senior officials, and is also set to meet the External Affairs Minister and other Indian dignitaries. Tharman met the External Affairs Minister yesterday, and he will also visit Odisha on January 17th and 18th. President Tharman's visit is not only a celebration of 6 decades of ties, but also an opportunity to strengthen collaboration in key sectors, including trade, technology, defense, and skill development. President Tharman being accorded the ceremonial welcome there and now meeting the President. A noteworthy aspect of this visit of President Tharman's is also the focus on Odisha, a state in eastern India that has become a strategic area of interest for Singapore. Up on your screens, President Tharman was meeting all the dignitaries right now. Also, discussions are expected today to focus on the evolving nature of India-Singapore comprehensive strategic partnerships, which was upgraded during Prime Minister's visit to Singapore in September 2024. Also, President Murmu today will host a state banquet for the President, further solidifying the growing diplomatic relationship between the two countries, India and Singapore. President Murmu, up on your screens, meeting the dignitaries from Singapore. And in addition to political talks which are planned, the Singaporean President will also confer the Honorary Citizen Award on Tarun Das, former Director General of the Confederation of Indian Industry, in recognition of his contribution to the enhancement of India-Singapore relations.
Said that the eastern states of the country as countries grow to do. How do you think Singapore can contribute to that situation?
Good question. Shall we take one more question at the same time?
Aflavi from CNE. So, this year marks 60 years of diplomatic relations between Singapore and India. Can you share a bit more about the significance of this year?
Well, it's an important moment. We will never forget that India was one of the first few countries to recognize Singapore's independence in 1965. And since then, our relationship has grown by bounds. It's a natural partnership between a small country, Singapore, and a very large country, India. But we found ways to cooperate in ways that are our mutual interests in a whole range of areas. Our business relationships are thriving. In fact, Singapore is the largest investor in India for many years now. Our defense relationship is strong. Our relationship in skilling has been very active in recent years, and it continues to grow. But we are now on a new trajectory with India, with the upgrade of our relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership, which was announced during Prime Minister Modi's last visit to Singapore in September last year. We are exploring new initiatives, going beyond the existing very active relationship that we have. We are working on cooperating in advanced manufacturing and semiconductors, helping to build up the semiconductor ecosystem in India. We're working on new generation and net zero industrial parks. And we're working on the skilling for the new industries that are involved as we embark on these new paths. We are also exploring other initiatives in the digital space and in sustainability. In the digital space, for instance, we are exploring the possibility of a data corridor between Gift City and Singapore, so that our financial institutions can exchange data on a safe and trusted basis. Sustainability is a major priority for both India and Singapore, and there too, we are working actively to look at whether a corridor for renewable energy between India and Singapore can be achieved. I'm optimistic for our relations with India. I'm optimistic because our leaders see eye to eye. We are natural partners, as I mentioned, and we both share. In Singapore is invested in India's ambition to be a developed country, Dixit Bharat, by 2047. The eastern states are a priority for the Indian government. In fact, in my last visit to India before I was president, I went to Assam at Prime Minister Modi's suggestion. And we are doing some things in Assam. In particular, we had a major involvement in skilling, and we are looking at other possibilities. This time, as part of the state visit, I'm going to Odisha, which has special significance amongst the eastern states. I know that India has high ambition for Odisha, and indeed it has great promise. The people are hungry, they've got natural advantages in their natural resources, and Singapore will look at opportunities from logistics and connectivity to petrochemicals and other areas. Of course, not to forget skilling, where we already have been deeply involved in the World Skills Center and are now embarked on expanding that relationship. So there will be many areas to explore, including even areas like MRO, maintenance, repair and overhaul operations for the aerospace sector, which shows very significant opportunity in India, including in Odisha. So I go with a business delegation with our eyes open to learn as much as we can and see where there can be fruitful opportunities for collaboration. Thank you. Thank you very much.
President Tharman accorded a ceremonial reception at the Rashtrapati Bhavan there, and he said that he was very optimistic about the relations between India and Singapore. President Shanmugaratnam also will engage with Indian thought leaders this time, and with discussions centered on future collaborations, he said, in high-tech industries, semiconductors, artificial intelligence and sustainability and fintech. The visit is poised to catalyze deeper economic integration between Singapore and India. President Tharman categorically said that he was very, very optimistic about the relations growing between both the countries. President Tharman there for a photograph right now with President Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The visit also will likely include the signing of multiple MOUs focusing on areas such as semiconductor ecosystem, where both countries are keen to collaborate on research, design and manufacturing. President Tharman also mentioned about his Odisha visit, which he said he was looking forward to. And one of the key highlights of the Odisha leg of his visit will be his tour of the Bharat Biotech Vaccine Manufacturing Facility and the World Skills Center, supported by Singapore's Institute of Technical Education Services. Also, economic ties are set to take the center stage during his visit, with both sides looking to expand cooperation. In fact, Singapore and India are also discussing ways to expand air travel services, which will again be boosted by the visit. Defense and security cooperation will also feature prominently in the discussions.